Well, welcome back to the rice cycle. We are currently at the stage in the season where a good portion of the rice paddies have actually been harvested. And you can see here, by the difference in color, that most of the stuff in this area has been done. As we head down the hill to the post office, the train is coming. But I can show you here that not all of the fields are quite harvested yet. It is September 10th today, and the weather is wonderful. The sky is a very, very clear blue. It's going to be a beautiful dry day today, so a lot of the leftover fields will most likely get harvested. There are a variety of different types of combines that are used. This is a medium-sized combine, believe it or not, that is used in these fields. There are larger ones and there are smaller ones, but you can see how the operator stands there watching over and how the front just pulls the rice in and chops it up and spreads the straw back on the ground again. What they'll do then when that gets filled up is they'll come over to this truck, and the pipe that was on top, they'll move over to this large bag and they'll blow the grain out of the combine into the bag. Here you can clearly see how the rice stalks are cut off at a uniform height by the combine, and then the straw is chopped up into small pieces and spread back on the rice field. We don't burn them here. They'll take them and turn them under the soil again and then flood the land so that it becomes, puts more nitrogen back into the soil for another crop of rice for next year. Well, I take it back. Most people don't burn, but some people do burn. Some of it. Once the rice has been harvested, it gets taken in those big bags over to like a small Japanese-sized grain elevator where it gets processed and the chaff is separated from the actual rice. And that gets collected in bags, and then they bring it back out and they spread it on the fields. And when I first came here, I saw this here and I thought, oh, this looks wonderful. It reminds me of leaves. So with the dog, I just sort of, jumped into it, back first. Splash, and then sort of swam around in it for a while, right? But little did I realize that they actually mix this stuff with chicken shit. So, well, Tug, my dog, didn't want to come near me, and Mayu didn't want me in the house. Little old lady on her way to the fields. A common sight in countryside in Japan. Look at this beautiful golden rice. My guess is, as soon as that other field is done, they'll be over here doing this one. Or somebody will in a day or two. This stuff is ready. This stuff is really, really ready. Can you see how beautiful and golden it is? Here you can see a larger section of this field has been flattened due to the rain and the wind. There's a lot like this, but the machinery that they have seems to have no trouble going through this. In the old days, they would walk around with poles and stand it all up again. Here's the manual process, because the combines won't quite get into the corners like this. So as you can see, they have to take the rice and cut it off in the corners so as to be able to get the combines in and do everything. 今年の量はどうでしょうか？
一番早生は多かった。
よかったですか？
早生はよかった。
ああ、よかったよかった。
これがどうかなと思ってたけど。
I just asked how the yield is this year, and it's the other place that his other field, he said it's the largest he's had, the largest yield in a long time. He's wondering about this field because, as you can see, a lot of it is knocked down. ありがとうございます。 Here's another combine. It's a little bit larger than the one we showed you previously. And since it's not moving, we can get in close and take a look at how it works here. These teeth scoop up 4 rows at a time and pull them into the machine, and they go through here into these teeth and this complicated system which I can't even explain to you, and it all gets chopped up and separated accordingly. It's pretty neat, actually. I've never been this close to one of these things before. Very cool, very cool. And away we go! I continued my conversation about the combine with the farmer, and he told me that they're so expensive nowadays and they make such little money that they've been forced to, farmers get together and make a company, like a co-op, and they sell their rice to themselves, the owners of that company, and then that company takes care of the costs of owning the combine, and they share the combine in harvesting and also in seeding and, you know, in turning the soil to keep the weeds down and everything like that, because the individual farmers themselves simply can't do it on their own anymore. It's just not cost effective for them, so they have to form these little conglomerates. Anywho, I talked about that, and he said that he could foresee in the near future, in the future, all of that land being turned into one giant rice paddy, and agro-business coming in and doing it to keep costs low. But the problem is now, the farmers don't make the money because it all gets sold to JA, Japan Agriculture, and they want to profit now. They are a co-op, but they're a profitable co-op, and they've turned into an entity of their own. So they're not there to help the farmers anymore. So they make the farmers sell the rice at really ridiculously low prices, and then they jack it up for retail, and we pay ridiculously high prices. This is a problem with no competition, and when countries close their barriers to things like staples of rice and all that kind of stuff. So things will change, I think, especially as the rice farmers get older and the younger people don't want to do it anymore.